17 came into my life about 3 years ago, and I'm not joking for once when I say that they changed my life. I may not talk about them as much as I should, but it goes without saying that they are 100% one of my ults and one of my favorite musicians of all time. So, it was high time I made something special just for them, and on top of that, on their anniversary. I'm using this tier list I made myself. You're probably familiar, but the higher the song gets the better, with the top being a masterpiece and the bottom being really bad. This includes only Korea title tracks sung by all 13 members, meaning no solos, B-sides, pre-releases, subunits, Japanese songs, or OSTs. My research for this video is the MVs from Pledis, translations from, mostly, Genius, and sources from Wikipedia. Everything I say in this video are directly my thoughts and opinions. This is about how their music has affected me specifically. However, you are allowed to correct or disagree with me in the comments. Hopefully, YouTube lets me separate all the songs into chapters so you can jump around at your viewing pleasure. I apologize for my crappy editing and scripting. I unfortunately am no Cho Jimmy or Wintressy. I do what I can, but don't expect anything amazing. This is gonna be long for me, so lock in. I'd appreciate a subscribe, like, or comment for my work, as this has been months in the making and has taken me so many hours. Think of this as a love letter from me to 17 for all they've done for me. No matter the budget you have, debuts are important. They're the first song, so the first time the world will hear what you have to say. They're an introduction to a group, they're a small introspection into what the group's future will stand for. Concepts shift, their lyrics get less juvenile as they get older, but groups typically stick to their message. For example, Big Bang always stood for confidence and being true to yourself. BTS continuously stands for self-love in every form. And 17? Well, if you've ever seen a video of them in any way, you'd know that their personalities are colorful, loud, and joyful. The members themselves have always been their strongest feature, and their music reflects this. 17 stands for kindness and happiness, and Adore You represented it perfectly. It's a cute-sounding song with a bright atmosphere. It's about harmless, youthful love, heavily leaning on OP being dumbfounded by a specific person's beauty, so much so that they become clumsy, dizzy, and their heart races when they see them. It was a solid debut in my book, lighthearted and very 17, including the music video. Was it cheap? Arguably yes, but that might be what made it fit their youthful concept so well. It has an unpolished charm to it, from Woozy's patchy pink hair, to the pants that don't quite fit right on the certain members, to the excessive use of effects. It all just felt like a high school project with 13 teenagers that wanted to use the most amount of filters possible because they thought it looked cool. Overall, they introduced themselves, but this was just the beginning, and I'd be a fool to say this was a top-tier 17 song. They came back with a slightly more aggressive version of themselves, and of Adore You. A little rap heavier, but it followed a similar sound and theme to their debut, yet again about love within youth, with a focus of crushing. I like the standalone song, but I can't help but get the ick from the video. The school concept in itself isn't the problem. I personally like that. However, all 13 members going after the same girl constantly is a problem. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth as they continuously compete for her affection. It treats her like a prize to be won, and I can't ignore that. Not to mention that she constantly rejects them, even going as far as slapping or pushing them to get them away from her, but it's pushed off as her playing hard to get. I also can't really hold it against them. They were teenage boys in 2015, they probably didn't even slightly think about this feeling weird to women at all. Based on how they most likely were raised, they probably thought this was peak appreciation. I do not think Manse was special in any way, shape or form. I personally am not a big fan of the heavy rap influence in a song that sounds like this. It feels out of place. It feels like Adore You but worse. That, and I kind of always forget about Manse. It fades away in the long run. I don't necessarily dislike it though. Despite my personal preferences against Manse, it raised expectations high for a follow-up. That follow-up being Pretty You. At first listen, it sounds rather similar to Adore You and Manse, but when you listen a little closer you notice that it is in fact, very different. The previous songs were quick hitters with many twists and turns that kept you on your toes. Pretty You is much more subtle in its approach, it requires multiple listens to get to know the charms behind it. It's a bright, bouncy song at its core, with a happy summery feel and a clean-sounding pop sheen over it, aiming for longevity over trendiness. But every little hidden ad-lib, noise, laugh in the way back of the production adds to the joyful, comfy feeling in the song. The lyrics have to be my favorite thing about it though. I have said so many times how much I adore love songs, but I have never explained why. They're not innovative, philosophical, or special. I mean, they're probably the most common song type. So, why? Why do I like them so much? It's because they're so real, so human. The concept of love is a generally universal, fundamental experience that every single person on the planet Earth has felt. In my experience, people tend to get used to it just existing around them so much that they regularly forget to slow down and appreciate it. Your friends, family, partner aren't forced to love you, they do so because you're you. The experience of a crush is flustering, exciting, embarrassing at times, but you keep it up because you want to love that person and spend time with them. And 17, in my opinion, are masters at love songs, romantic and otherwise. Pretty You is everything I appreciate, a lyric like, I wanna pick and gather all the pretty words for you. Firstly, I'd collapse if someone said that to me, are you kidding? And secondly, is so precise at portraying the proper emotion and feeling. This is what 17 excels at. Their lyrics aren't difficult to understand, even in deeper songs, but they will tell you exactly what they mean in an efficient manner. This goes for all of their music. If 17 have a meaning they want to share, they will stop at nothing to make sure you understand every single thing they say. Pretty You seems to be forgotten a lot of the time, and that's a shame, because wow, it means a lot to me. I like music where I can take it and have my own thoughts about it. This specific one brings up all of my feelings on love songs. Is it perfect to you? Probably not, but it is to me. Pretty You, I love you so much. Very nice as well, potentially the most known 17 song to date. This was their first big break. If you didn't know 17, oh you did now. These 13 boys grabbed anyone around them by their throats and yelled, we're 17 and you're going to listen to us. In their faces. Because, you can't really go wrong with the purest form of K-pop. If you don't like this, I don't know what to tell you other than you don't actually like K-pop. Aside from all the trends and sound changes, this is what K-pop sounds like when it's taken down to its bones. From the loud booming horns to the suspenders, this saved them. Truly, I don't know if they would have survived without this song. It was simply the exact opposite of Pretty You. You were supposed to want more from that song. They wanted it to grow on you, make you take your time discovering how much you really like it. This is an instantaneous burst of loud funk-inspired pop, with sirens and horns. I can't believe I've made it this far without bringing up Woozi, but it's high time I credit him. Looking at it through these 4 releases, he proved his versatility quickly. All of these felt just like 17, but were all still diverse and exciting. The one constant. Woozi's uncanny ability to mix pure pop masterpieces with intricate, ever-morphing hooks that make you, forces you to come back. His work is like magic. He and Bumza sit in that studio with nothing but fairy dust and popsicle sticks, and then make the most enchanting music ever. Hear me when I say that Lee Ji-hoon is a genius. The refrain is extremely well done. It's an instrumental centerpiece focusing on simplicity while still maintaining its effectiveness. The verses around it sound way more interesting to me though. The melody and rap feels like it's constantly expanding, switching, morphing, always new and special as it changes between styles. I would really imagine it's difficult to make a song with overall fair line distribution and a part that highlights each member's talents in a group with 13 people, but it's done perfectly here. But the most important part of Very Nice, in my humble opinion, is the energy it maintains the entire time. Not once does it lull, it's like a firework. The lyrics continue to follow through with their so far signature love song as well. I need to remind you that 17 were just rookies when this was released. This was only about a year and a half after their debut and they were already excelling. Very Nice is usually the first thing flashing through my head when I think of a 17 music video. It was released almost a decade ago and I still classify it as one of the best K-pop songs to date. Truly peak 17 masterpiece. And then Boom Boom came out. This was a massive step backwards. It aimed for a similar level of energy that Very Nice encapsulated so well, but without the added funk elements and vocal breaks it falls flat to me. Its verses are constantly jumping around from member to member, it's like a pinball machine, and not in a good way. There's a thin line between exciting and overwhelming, and this crosses it. The recurring hook gets way too repetitive, way too quickly. I genuinely don't know how a song can be both overwhelming and boring, but this somehow manages to do just that for me, like I'm sick of hearing it after a minute, turn it off. It fails to show off what 17 can and have done. I don't know why Woozi decided to make this, but I could have gone my entire life without ever having to listen to it and I'd be happier. It did absolutely nothing to add anything to their discography if I'm honest. I skip this song every time it turns on, and it fails to command my attention. Well, they released two masterpieces back to back. They couldn't go for a third, I guess then they'd be too powerful. I lied earlier, we all know this is 17's best known song. Don't Wanna Cry never fails to amaze me. It's a familiar yet distinct experience every single time I hear it. It was no doubt a drastic, yet very brave change for them, sounding absolutely nothing like the rest of their music. Their old sound was energetic from the jump, wasting no time at all to get into the loud funk-infused pop, but this takes its sweet time building up slowly instead for an emotionally impactful chorus. Most people I see decipher the lyrics as nothing more than a breakup song, and although there's nothing wrong with that, I believe these lyrics were written with the intent of being a large umbrella over all the different versions of losing someone. It's about the feeling of tears forming, but holding them in because you have yourself thinking you might get to see them again, just because you can't grasp that the person is gone. I have had worries in the past, fear of 17 losing their creativity to give into what's popular nowadays, to lose themselves to a TikTok sound. Man, I've even voiced them on this channel before. But every time I listen to this song again, I realize that there's one thing 17 will never do, and that is, lose their spark. They'll never fit in a box. I don't think they could even if they tried. This is 17 and this is their music, and you'll either listen to them or you won't. This song helped them break free from a familiar sound they were stuck in, and beautifully at that, but it isn't all good. This followed the Chainsmokers and it's obvious, the music itself just sounds very outdated. Following trends ends in something that does not stand the test of time. This song is still enjoyable, but it loses some of its amazing qualities 8 years later, in my opinion. I struggled with placing this because it is extremely iconic and most older fans recognize it as one of the best K-pop songs to date, but again, it's lost some of its over the years. Now, if the Chainsmokers were still the most popular artists in the world right now, I'd probably change my mind. One of my favorite things about them is they switch up fast. They keep everyone on their toes. I mean, who thought this of all things would have been their comeback after Don't Wanna Cry? They had to give Carrots somewhat of a warning of an imminent change, and let me tell you, Clap was the perfect in-between. A perfect melding of rookie 17 with their gleeful energy and future 17 with their sharper edges. The main focus is the electric guitar. As we know, Woozi is good at meshing genres and this was no exception. Everyone take notes. This is how we do rock implements in a K-pop song. This was done perfectly. It takes a special kind of energy to yell, clap, over and over. Clapping is a noisy, aggressive expression and the song sounds like a round of applause from start to finish as the chorus brings the intensity into the verses. The message is very much, although things are horrible at times, you can still do things to distract and cheer yourself up, such as clapping until the end of the song with them. To point out negatives would be that chanting choruses tend to get boring and this isn't an exception. It's not particularly one I could hear on repeat for hours or even one I want to go listen to again for multiple days. Actually, now that I think about it, I have to be in a specific mood to really enjoy it in the first place. That and the vocals, aside from ad-libs especially at the end, are pretty much just talk singing and rapping, which I guess not everyone has a problem with, but I do, and guess whose video it is. I think Clap was a really good stepping stone for them. Was it the best executed that it could have been? Absolutely not. It has its flaws and rough sounding parts, but it was a solid attempt at something completely foreign to them, and they put their all into it. 17 fought for their lives. Not once did they stop, even though I know they were struggling in their own way, and it was finally paying off. Don't want to cry and Very Nice saved them. If it wouldn't have started working when it did, I'm not sure they would get to be here now to celebrate their 10th anniversary. Yes, they made the music, they wrote the lyrics, they danced the choreography, they performed like their life depended on it. But in order to be an artist, there needs to be people supporting that art for no other reason than to keep it alive. None of what they did really mattered, without an audience to support it. To be clear, their fans saved them. 17 is nothing without Carrot, and they're not blind to this. The lyrics to this song: thank you. Everything they say is to convey thanks. And it wasn't quiet either. This was their title track. They took this to music shows and performed it, competed with it, when all it always was a song describing how utterly grateful they are. Specific likes like, my heart is overflowing with these cliché words. I haven't said them to you because I was worried they wouldn't sound sincere. Rather than saying a simple, thank you, I've been searching for prettier words so I haven't been able to thank you, and, my heart won't change, it won't ever change, even if you forget me, we won't change. Because we're engraved in each other's hearts, our pure vulnerability that most musicians in general cannot reach. This is a level of gratitude I have only ever seen within 17, and this isn't to take away from others' fan songs, but it is to show how much 17 values and trusts their fans and each other. Thanks is special to me as it probably is for most Carrots. But, I'm not sure what to do with it. On one hand it means the world to me, on the other it isn't a regularly standard masterpiece to me. I don't think my placement really matters. All I can say is, thank you, 17. K-pop summer concepts are my absolute favorite. That is because summer is such a broad feeling, so it's able to accommodate a wide range of sounds and groups. You can still feel like summer and sound like the artists it came from. For instance, Wave by ATZ, Power Up by Red Velvet, and XO by ENHYPEN all sound very different, but all of those encapsulate summer perfectly. Oh My was 17's summer song, or first main one I should say. It's still slightly there, but they decided to mainly ditch the funk influence to give into a full-on bubblegum pop focusing on cutesy piano and synths. Also a way more laid-back and modest approach, but where it lacks energy, it makes up for with cheerfulness and melody. I must say, I adore this version of Not Just 17, nothing beats an unapologetic cute concept. The vocal line, specifically DK and Sungkun shine in this, while also not taking away from the rap line at any point, which was my main problem with the opposite in Clap. The lyrics very much call back to debut 17, they just can't help that they write love songs perfectly. The verses and chorus balance one another out in a way that feels satisfying, and even the outro stands strong against the two. Nothing gets lost or forgotten, and there isn't a part out of line or that I feel is unnecessary. My only negative for this one is that it's just kinda underwhelming. It doesn't stand as a 17 masterpiece in 2025, I'm sorry but it just doesn't. I don't think anyone loves this song as much as I do, this one is so extremely special to me and no one seems to get it. This instrumental heavily relies on synths and a down-paced moody atmosphere to carry it forward. The mixture of stillness in the verses and build-up into a gorgeous pre-chorus seem to foreshadow a classic beat drop into something bigger, but no, the chorus gives way into emptiness. Nothing but vocals. This was done with intention, the point wasn't for you to focus on the production or instrumental, you were to focus on the lyrics as the emotion and meaning carry the song. 17 wants to be more than just another music artist for their fans, they want everyone to know that they can be a safe space for anyone who needs it, you can make yourself comfortable because you're never not enough, they're a home where you can stay. This is because we are their home already, they want to give the same healing we gave them. There would be no 17 without Carrot and vice versa, neither can exist without the other, that is the point they make apparent in the very beginning, what would we do without each other? They express their fear of the thought of losing Carrot, they'd have no comfort or home to be at ease, they'd have no purpose, they express that it could be a bit difficult at times, but they'll always be there for us because no one can pull us apart. Between S-Coops and Mingyu in the bridge they make it as clear as day, I'm where you should be, you're where I should be. And the last few lines state plainly, I'm your home, because you're my home, where you can cry, where I can cry. The reason Woozy's my bias, is because he can come off as harsh or quiet, but in reality he has never-ending love and compassion almost overflowing out of him, just waiting for the right time to spill. It just happens that it comes out in music, not words. One of my favorite things about this song aside from the lyrics is the contrast between the beginning of the first and second chorus. The first uses their vocalist with the highest range, and the second is the one with the lowest, and I don't know, it's just a really interesting sound. I actually don't give a damn if you don't think this song is masterpiece level because guess what, this isn't about you, this song has been one of my comfort songs for years and I'm so happy to talk about it finally. I love home and I better not see one complaint about it. Ever. I recognize that this is usually regarded as most Carrot's favorite title track, and don't get me wrong they're hot, like extremely beautiful in this era, like Jonghan wants me dead he's so attractive, but I digress. I really do not think this is one of their bests, I say that when talking about 17 though, so honestly it's very clearly better than most other groups released 9 out of 10 times. For the good, the meaning was done perfectly as per usual with Woozy's lyrics, it describes fear in a way that correlates it to poison, if you do not control your fear the fear itself will control you, engulfing you into darkness, and eat at you like a toxin until it slowly kills you, just like a poison. I like when the instrumental pulls away leaving you with the vocals, it gives a nice break to catch your breath. And I really love the ending chorus, especially the part where Woozy goes super high right after the bridge and the ad-libs from Sungkun and DK. The refrain is also strong as is the regular chorus as well. Now the negatives, the verses and pre-chorus feel like they're moving aimlessly with that random hip-hop and distorted bass, there's no target direction and I can't grasp what to expect next. This results in it never feeling like it's building towards something bigger, there's no momentum it just feels restricted. And the vocal layering was just done poorly. Overall it is not a bad track, but it is not peak 17 at all, not even close. This was my first 17 song believe it or not, I unfortunately did not stand them immediately, but I did gain my Woozy bias from this though, yeah that's right Woozy stan from the first time I saw him. This was also the first comeback for them after Pledis was acquired by Hybe labels. I'm not entirely sure if this was originally made to be their way of bringing positivity to the dreary times of COVID, but that is certainly what it served as. 17 are regularly appreciated for their personalities and friendships off stage, they're very goofy in the eyes of fans, so this basically just showed that off to the best of their ability. The video is silly, the choreography is easier than most of their others, and the general vibe is supposed to be fun. It's like watching their content. This is really good, but also one of my complaints, it can definitely feel too much like it's trying too hard to be funny, it leans a little too far into the novelty of it all. The main feature of the song is the hook that is just there to get stuck in your head. It's super repetitive, which I would complain about if 17 didn't pull it off so well. This was the closest thing to rekindling debut 17 that so many missed. The verses are punchy with their signature jumps from rapping to singing, and it gives a similar bright atmosphere. The difference is that they will never be debut 17 again, because they've retained their mature sound from their darker songs and infused them into this cuter sound. They've grown as artists and people, in other words, which is good news. The song's main point is that you should do what you believe in and do what you want. They have taken their experiences in youth and are applying it to this song. Aiming to be perfect doesn't really say much about learning from mistakes. Do your best, but maybe not sometimes, because it's okay as long as you take the time to have fun. They show off in the music video that they choose to do something different by going up instead of left or right. This ultimately doesn't work, signifying failure. But S-Coops comes out unharmed, representing that no matter the outcome of choices, everything will be fine regardless. It is a song I love a lot actually. I understand that it could get repetitive and potentially tries too hard to fit into a meme for some, but I think it works well. It's good and I love her. Ah yes, funk, something they mastered a long time ago. Instead of infusing it in pop this time though, it stands along with jazz and a little swing influence. This utilizes piano and brassy punches to push it forward with a confidence on display. This was a performance piece, it's theatrical and fun, you are supposed to watch not listen. There's no changes or switch-ups though, it just keeps switching between two target beats the whole time. Aside from the dance break, it lacks dynamic melodies, it just needs a jolt of something. The album's name was Semicolon, because in speech a semicolon is used to connect two complete sentences together. It was used in the middle of Home Run to remind fans that a semicolon isn't an end, but a rest. You can still hit a home run even with a pause or break, it doesn't mean a full stop. They want more people to take breaks and enjoy their youth essentially. I'm just really not a Broadway or jazz fan, I'm sorry, but I physically cannot let myself place this high. Did you notice the sudden lack of cutesy love songs? Because I certainly did. Title track-wise there was an entire 1068 days between their previous love song, Oh My, and this one, that's almost 3 years. This was their first song co-written by Bang PD, which first of all I despise that man, and second of all, I hate when he produces for 17 so much. Yes, he's a good producer and makes good pure pop music, but 90% of the time he literally hijacks the entire vibe, like his assistants, takes away a piece of the uniqueness that makes 17 who they are, and makes them way more stereotypical sounding. This song is straightforward pop, no infusions, and it's extremely single-minded, not once does it switch up or offer anything new, and I blame Bang's influence for this because we know Woozy is the king of dynamic verses and pop infusions at this point. The traits are not necessarily bad, but it's very out of character for them and that's what ruins it. This could have been performed by anyone else. There's nothing here that screams 17, and it's one of the only songs by them that if I didn't know better, I wouldn't be able to clock it as them. I appreciate the meaning for basically being a more mature version of their debut lyrical content, but that is by no means a thing to save it. It does help though, not gonna lie. Look, it's not a bad song, but it isn't exactly a 17 song either. It's just there, and if I'm honest it really irritates me. I'm like 50% sure I stand in this era, so that's something. Aside from that, there's a whole lot of nothing in this song, nothing memorable. I actually almost forgot to include it. I'm not a Rock With You fan and it doesn't deserve my time or energy.
Drop it like hot, hot, hot. 어제 I'm feeling so hot. 노래 버리 like hot, 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 hot. 우리는 drop it like hot.
The other 50% belongs here. If not, I definitely remember this era more. I could talk forever about how much I hated boy groups in 2020 to 2022. They all released the same hip-hop songs that sound like pots and pans, no style, no passion, just a weird combination of clangs. Seriously, everyone did this, and it gets so tiring hearing the same garbage constantly done over and over again. 17 fortunately knows how to give and take when it comes to trends. This had an excessive amount of auto-tune, like so much auto-tune, and I remember that being the main critiques people had about Hot when it came out, but I love it so much. I like when producers overdo it, obviously as long as it makes sense and works well, which it does here. The things that drive the song are country guitar riffs, which is something in itself, but more importantly is the weird sounding, super high-pitched, electronic whistle/siren sound effect. But, the fact that they managed to pull this off proves they're some of the best performers in the industry, and the pre-chorus holds the most of that. Similar to Home Run, it has a two-note chorus of repetition, and even though it works way better here, it's still not my personal favorite. It's flawed, as it should be. A perfect song shouldn't exist as long as it remains man-made, but it rings true to 17 and I very much enjoy it, not that much though. Oh world, this song is one of my favorites to date. 17 can hit rough patches of music, like the last 3 releases weren't very strong, but this song encapsulates why I love them so much. World shines so brightly, it warms everything it touches while also bringing back their funk-infused pop roots with their new and improved smooth production. It's not trying hard at all, it wasn't supposed to be earth-shattering, and it's not like it was supposed to reinvent the wheel, and that's what's so perfect about it. It's not ambitious at all, it sits where it should, and truly that's all I want sometimes. I have seen people complain that it lacks personality, or that it's overly clean, but I think it's fine when their performances are smothered in nothing but personality. The members have said time and time again that this song means a lot to them. I was confused at first about why, as although it's a cute love song, it didn't seem anything particularly special, but I understand now. Woozy's clearly a big fan of utilizing characters to get his point across. This is apparent from Home Run and Darling, so obviously it's not a coincidence that an underscore was included in World's title. So what does it mean? He said the underscore was supposed to leave space for you to be able to define your own world how you want to. It becomes more of a fill in the blank. Whatever dreams you have, whatever new perspective you find, it's all up to you. What do you want your world to be? This era is 17 at their best. Genuinely, I love this song so much, it means the world to me. FML was a turning point in my opinion. The sheer success of this album's pre-sales and charting abilities, not to mention their wins at MAMA at the end of the year, it all finally proved that 17 deserves respect as one of the biggest groups in the industry. This was a performance piece, you're supposed to watch it along with listening to it, but for once that doesn't take away from the song's excellent sound, it doesn't overpower at all, and that proves their flexibility when it comes to performing. Opening with an almost ritualistic vocal blend forces your attention to them immediately, then it gives way to a super fast-paced, almost disorganized sounding verse, one of which I absolutely adore, and we get a signature 17-style pre-chorus with the most amazing vocals ever heard, and it all feels like it's bigger than life. And then the flooring drops out underneath you. Yes folks, this right here is how you do an anti-chorus correctly, especially because it shortly resumes with a chanting, hype-you-up style post-chorus. The track speed is what makes it such an epic feeling. It's like all eyes in the world are on them when they perform it because of how fast and confidently they move through it. It's almost an effortless feeling. I know a lot were concerned about the transition until Hybe labels, but I think they really needed it actually. It gave them access to so many new expensive production softwares, and other producers to bounce ideas off of. Not that I don't think Woozy is able to come up with things on his own or make good music alone. All of these song meanings and sounds come from him. But having more than one other person to help you produce and write definitely comes in handy. And the meaning? Just about how much they appreciate one another and how successful they've been together, the love they receive has made them feel like Sonigal. I think Super was amazing at giving all of them a designated time to shine considering none of them were overshadowed. Though I do regularly think that this should have been their last comeback before the military, it felt like a goodbye to me. Super is very important for them, and dare I say, a perfect song. It was 17 and so well done. This song always feels like a victory lap to me, like they've already gotten everything they wanted and this was a very ambitious title. I've said it before and I'll say it again, 17 shines so brightly, they're like a sun in a space of stars, and God of Music reflects this. K-pop has become more and more subdued in recent years, but 17 don't care, this song is huge, they put everything into the mix with a fast-paced tempo, brass finishings, and synth solos. But, that being said, that's all it has going for it, just fun times. Let's be clear here, the melodies lack greatly, it's just not memorable at all, it isn't a standout. I appreciate that even though the title may suggest otherwise, they're not bragging at all in the lyrics, this song is truly just about how music brings everyone across the world together despite language barriers. It's a simple concept, but an important one. It has its shortcomings, but it isn't a bad song by any means. I love when 17 fully let them be themselves. This is the last one I'm covering simply because it feels like the last one that matters. Anthologies are a very uncommon thing in the K-pop industry, and although I don't tend to like them, 17 deserves one. A long time ago I stated that this was a good song, but it felt like they were holding back a bit. Over the past year I've learned that I was right, it is lacking. It's just now I know how to describe it. It's a frustrating listen considering it's changing constantly, 1 second it's a fast-paced rush, then the next it's underwhelming with an almost boring chorus and hook, there's almost no cohesion. I love the warble production at points and when it pulls back to expose the percussion bass, but the chorus is so dull, it's repetitive and can bore me so badly depending on the day. 17's music is man-made, always has been, always will be, but with the rise of AI there's been an influx of artists standing to prove how important humanity is in art, this is their contribution to this. They're saying that they're happy their music sounds like this, that they're proud to have made it themselves, as humans, with all of the imperfections, because a song that's perfect is untrustworthy, because one shouldn't exist. Funnily enough, people took this song and video as support for AI, when it was made to be the opposite. Continuously the robots in the video are ruining everything, it only works properly when they, representing humans, play it. Despite my appreciation for them touching on such a topic, there's no edge in the song itself, it isn't daring enough to be as cool as it looks on first glance, but it also isn't nearly as boring as it sounds on first listen. It's difficult to explain, but essentially it's just a song. If you were interested in the final ranking, well, here it is, please note that Hot and Super are flipped somehow. 10 years, 20 songs. I can't believe I'm actually getting this out on time. But please feel free to share your opinions and I will beg you for engagement on this post. Again, it took literally forever, like all my time for weeks and I missed a post because of it. Sigh. Okay, I'm Strawberry Woozy, and goodbye everyone.